What's going on, y'all? So today I'm going to talk about a couple of interesting things. First thing I want to say, with all this self-seclusion stuff going on, people are getting awfully lonely. Um, Loneliness can easily lead to depression and stuff of that nature. Um, Try to keep your head up, man. Eventually, this is going to be over. I really can't say enough because reality is a lot of people losing a lot of things, and I know what that's like more than I can tell you. So try to keep your head up, man. It's not over yet. Also, you know, maybe this ain't a bad time to start your van life. Just maybe, just a thought. You ain't got nothing to lose. They're going to screw you in the end. They're going to try to anyway, from the looks of things. Why not? Why not? Something to do. Maybe, at least look into it. If that's something that you want to try. Anybody can do this. And the reality is not to pay rent, not to pay bills. That's going to probably be the future for a little while because things are looking grim. I won't go into it. It's just too much to go into, and I'm not going to bring nobody down right now. But anyway, so today I went and pulled all the pink stuff out of the intake of the car. Car is running good again. It had a bunch of insulation. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I ran into a thing of insulation on the road and took out like a bunch of plants because the car is so long. Couldn't avoid it because the car is so long, and insulation was like everywhere and under the hood, like everywhere. So that's taken care of, and just got back in the house. Went to the dollar store, did some grocery shopping. I'm at my mother's right now, and yeah. So I bought me something today, which is something that every nomad should have. Even if it's not, it ain't got to be this big, but it's definitely something you want to have if you're a nomad. So I bought this. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's a grill. I just got done putting it together. And it's got little legs on it. I don't know if y'all can see that. So yeah, I just bought that. And I just got done putting it together. And it's small enough to where I can put it in the trunk and it won't mess with nothing else in the trunk like the refrigerator or the spare tire or anything else that's in the trunk. Yes, I have a refrigerator in my trunk and it runs off a power inverter. Um, I was going to show y'all that before the whole thing happened with the. My trunk is a mess now because I had to jump a curb and it's a long story. And yeah, so I got that and I'm going to probably go outside in the dark and cook some hamburgers on it. Yeah, should be interesting. So what else is going on? A lot of people have been asking me what happened to the truck. So I guess I'll just tell y'all what happened to the truck. I mean, I was debating on whether or not to tell y'all. Let me get comfortable for this one. But I guess it won't hurt. So the truck. So a few weeks ago, y'all were asking, well, where's the truck at? And I was just like, it's a long story and I didn't really feel like getting into it. I would just say it was sold to avoid the whole story of what happened to the truck. Well, I don't even know if I should say all of this now, but I'm going to. So the truck. Where do I begin? So see this. So yesterday, day before yesterday, was not my first uh, go around with wildlife. In fact, I was in the camper and I was asleep. And I don't know if y'all saw the video where I said I got stung like 3 times. Yeah, I got stung while I was sleeping because there was a beehive in the camper. Now, I didn't know that there was a beehive in there until it just happened to get really warm one day. And I guess the bees came out. Um, and I never found the beehive in the camper, so I would just stay in the truck. Um, One day, this was a few days after I made that video, I went to go try to find the beehive in the camper. And the door the door sometime would latch and it would be hard to get it back open. So I was parked on the hill and I walked in the camper. I got up in the camper and the door closed on me. Okay, didn't care, wasn't worried about it. Started trying to fix me something to eat. Well, then I heard a hissing sound. And I said, well, damn, I guess the gas is leaking because I put a brand new propane regulator on it. I said, damn, this thing is leaking. So I cut the stove off. And then I was listening, and the sound was hiss, and then it would stop. Then it would hiss again, and it would stop. I said, that's not propane. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. That's probably a snake. Yep. Now, at this point, I didn't care that there was that was the least of my worries. I don't remember what was on my mind at the time, but that was not on my mind. And so I just proceeded to do whatever I was doing. Now, I'm not afraid of snakes. I will take a snake, cut his head off, slice him open, gut him, and put him on the grill and eat him, depending on what kind of snake it is. I just figured it was probably a garden snake or something. No big deal. No. And the bad part is, when I saw the snake, he was blocking the door, and it was a big ass snake. And I'm fairly sure that it was poisonous, judging from his nose. Almost sure. Almost sure. Not 100%. Almost sure that it was some sort of boa constrictor or something. I didn't want no parts of that, see? And so, once again, this was a time where I said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I thought about going through the door, but I'm pretty sure the door wouldn't have opened with my luck. So I jumped up on the bed and tried to fit through the sky vent. Well, at this point, the snake is coming toward me. I jumped from the bed, and I'm not talking about the bed on the bottom where the table is. I'm talking about the bed up top. I jumped from the bed all the way to the back of the camper and landed on my feet. And I busted the door open. I didn't give a fuck. I was getting out of there. And so I got out. And I never went back in it. And so I stayed in the truck for another few days. And at this point, I'm trying to figure out what to do. Because standing in the truck wasn't comfortable. It was miserable. And so I was thinking about calling Terminex. Like, who do I know that can deal with this mess? Well, I was driving the truck, going to dialysis one day, and there was a spider. Now, I'm mostly blind in one eye. There is barely any vision out of this eye. And this eye ain't that great. There's vision, I get full vision out of this one, but this eye here, no, there's nothing. And so I'm driving and I see a speck on the windshield out of this eye. See, this eye didn't see it. This eye did. See, this eye's got a little retina problem or something. This one here, I saw a speck on the windshield, right? At least what I thought was a speck on the windshield. Mind you, I'm going down Highway 50, probably doing about, I don't know, 70 miles an hour or so when I see the speck on the windshield. So I said, okay, that's a big ass speck. What the hell? So I grab a napkin and I try to wipe the speck off, and the speck ain't going nowhere. So I try to look at it with this eye, and I just do one of these numbers, and that wasn't a speck. That was the biggest spider I have ever seen in my entire existence. I mean, this thing was huge, man. It was just a little smaller than my hand. And I have some big hands. And so I tried to figure out where it was because it clearly wasn't on the windshield. And I'm looking at it and I'm looking at it, and it's coming down from the ceiling, and it lands on the steering wheel. I immediately pulled over, jammed on the brakes. I thought I left the truck in park. I did not leave the truck in park. Once again, I'm going uphill. I always turn my wheels so that I don't have to worry about it, you know, going off into traffic, because it was a stick. I always do that. Always been a habit for years. I thought I left it in gear. I don't know what I did. I just jumped out of the truck. The emergency brake decided that it wasn't going to hold, and the truck started rolling backward. Now, at this point, I was just trying to find anything that I could get the spider out of the truck with, and I couldn't get the spider out of the truck. I don't even know where this spider came from. I mean, now there is this place in the woods where I kind of hide out at, well, when I have a camper anyway, and they don't bother me. It's on the railroad tracks. It don't bother me now. But so the truck got to rolling, and it was rolling too fast for me to run and catch it. And it, I don't know, probably about 20 miles an hour, and just went off into the ravine and into the water. And I lost the camper, and well, I lost the camper partially because the truck, it was on a slant, and the camper just kind of fell out of the truck because it's either, I figured the whole thing was going to flip over. But no, the camper just fell out. I thought I had it tied down pretty good. I must have had it tied down pretty good. I don't know, because it never came out like when I was, well, anyway. Yeah, so it just got tilted really good, and the truck went over on two wheels. The camper came out. The truck came back down on four wheels, kept on rolling. So when the tow truck got there and the police, well, they didn't write me a ticket. I think the guy might have felt sorry for me. And the tow truck guy, he pulled the truck out of the water. And being that it didn't have hard plates on it, they took it to the impound place. And when I went to go get the truck out, the guy that towed it there said, man, you know, you should just sell that truck to me. You're not going to get it running again. And I said, yeah, it'll run. He said, I don't know if it's going to run. I said, well, what makes you say that? He was like, because there's water. Well, basically, the cab had filled up with water when he was trying to pull it out because it slid sideways on the hill. And The frustration was real. Let's just say that. And I went to try to go start it, and sure enough, it wasn't starting. It wasn't doing nothing. Now there's a little reset box in them trucks somewhere, but I couldn't figure out where it was. And anyway, to make a long story short, the guy that towed it there, he just made me a crazy offer, and I took it. And I mean, I didn't make no money on it, but I didn't lose anything either. So that's what happened with the truck and the camper. And yeah, wildlife will bite you in the ass every time, literally. And the only thing that brought that story on was the whole squirrel incident from the other day, which I'm still kind of iffy. I don't know if there's other wildlife in here, but even the dog ran from the squirrel. What kind of shit is this? The dog's supposed to. How you earn your keep? You bark at things, but you ain't attacking. It's supposed to be a pit bull. Make you out to be a chihuahua. Jeez. Anyway, what else is going on? So yeah, if you haven't told somebody you love them today, make sure you tell them you love them, because where this coronavirus shit is going around, tomorrow ain't promised, man. It's like I've been saying way before this coronavirus thing. Tomorrow is not promised, not even hardly. And this shit is ridiculous. So that's about the summer things, I guess. I don't know. I promised y'all a couple of videos every weekend. So that's what I'm doing. But I think things are about to get interesting again in the next week or so because of these stimulus check things. I predict that you might want to stay tuned. Maybe not the very next video, but somewhere in the next few videos, almost sure things are going to get very, very, very interesting. Yep. So with that being said, I'm getting ready to get off of here and fix me something to eat. And love yourself before you love your problems. Um, you got to love yourself more than you love your problems for things to work out in your favor. They might not work out right away, but with a little bit of patience and a little bit of time, things will work themselves out. And got to keep in mind also, shit could always be worse. No matter what the situation is. And I know some pretty screwed up situations out here right now, but things could always be worse. So please, 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 please love yourself before you love your problems. And stuff of that nature. And I guess that's about it. Just some pretty tragic things have happened in the past 24 hours to me. And you got to love yourself, man. You got to love yourself. I know it was issues, man, but if you love your problems first, and so you might say to yourself, I don't love my problems. But the reality is, if you're stressing over things that you can't control, you love your problems more than you love yourself. And that's not right. You got to love yourself more than you love your problems. And you can get rid of those problems if you can do that. And you can make it to tomorrow. And then you can come out here and live this life with me. I mean, even though right now I'm at my mother's house, that's a temporary condition. Now I got the car fixed. And I got this nice grill. It eliminates microwaving in the car. It doesn't work as well as I thought it would. I'm still working on perfecting that actually. When I do perfect it, I'm gonna show y'all, but it doesn't work the way that I thought it was gonna work. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Like and subscribe and share and all of that good stuff if you want to do that. And if you don't want to do it anyway, because eventually something I say is going to click. And probably sooner than later, the rate things are going right now. I will talk to y'all later.